No, it's a fucking cock in the face argument. This is fucking him whipping it out and smacking it in my face, going, "Hey, motherfucker, look." This week on Trees in Space, Jason and I watched the 2024 action comedy Deadpool and Wolverine. Before I get into it, I want to say that this movie was so much fun to see. I missed the movie theater.
Oh yeah, it was in 3D in some places.
I fucking want to see this in 3D.
I heard it wasn't good in 3D.
No? Oh.
What I read on the reviews and stuff. And before you continue, allow me to take the time to thank everyone who's watching.
Hmm.
Thank you, because without you, well,
We'd still be
we'd
doing
still be doing this.
this. Yes, so Deadpool and Wolverine is about Deadpool's peaceful existence comes crashing down when the TVA recruits him to help safeguard the multiverse. He soon unites with his would-be pal Wolverine to complete the mission and save his world from an existential threat. It's a
Yes.
very vague description, and I understand why, because no spoilers. Well, folks, this movie is within the top 9 of the all-time opening grossing movies of all time.
Well,
So,
that was easy for you to say.
chances are you've already seen this movie. And maybe you're just trying to see what somebody else thinks about this. So we will do our best not to spoil this movie, but we will have some spoilers, I am
Oh,
sure.
I guarantee you, because the things I have to say, I'm going to have to spoil some of it because we can't really review this movie longer than 5 minutes without spoiling something.
Facts.
There's just too much stuff in there, Easter eggs, if you will, that if we can't talk about them, we can't review the movie.
Well, let's try to do something a little crazy. Let's try to stay in chronological order. Let's start from the beginning and work our way to the end. Let's try our best. Uh Opens up beautifully. You get Deadpool looking for his Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And the TVA shows up and he says, "I'm not gonna throw my weapons down. But I tell you, I'm not gonna use them." And that was just like, I don't know, funny to me, I guess. Like, what?
Yeah, he did a lot of that kind of stuff. And that's another thing we can't really. We're gonna have to spoil it. We're just gonna have to
Yeah,
because we can't have this conversation unless we spoil the fact that he was using Wolverine's dead body.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have said for 2 minutes now we're gonna spoil this, so you should have left. I'm sorry. Just stop watching. Um, and that is what happened. But that's how all the movies begin. All three of his movies start with the violence. And did the first one start with violence? The second one definitely did.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
always, it always, it's,
flashbacks.
yeah, yeah, foreshadow.
Yes, or flashbacks.
Yeah,
It's a part he has to back up to tell you how he got to that point.
exactly. Um, I childishly
Mm-hmm.
loved when he Wolverined out and stabbed the dude in the ass
I
and the
knew you
other
did.
dude in the dick,
I knew you did.
and they started rocking back and forth. I was like, man, could you imagine just being on set and having like nothing really there and you just having to work together?
Classic pieces there, but yes, that would be the funniest part of that whole part right there was he said it's so hard to Wolverine. That was funny when he said it's so hard to Wolverine. He was trying to Wolverine. He said it's so hard, and I will say, well, I'll wait for my review at the end to do that part because let's see. So he does that, and here's the part I don't get. He goes, okay. The reason the story happens, and this will get into the next part of the movie. is someone dies, an anchor being
Mm-hmm.
on his universe, and that means this universe is going to extinguish itself.
Yeah, his timeline.
His timeline. His universe. Because he apparently is on planet. We're gonna say planet instead of universe. I know it's the whole universe, but his planet is 10,071. The main planet, which is ours, is 616. So they're trying to explain to me this is where I'm having issue. This is where I'm gonna have issue with this movie. And that is they're not following their own logic. They're not following comic book logic in this movie. They just said, hey, let's get these guys together no matter how it is. I'm telling you now, guys, shut your brain off the first 20 minutes of this movie. You'll enjoy the hell out of it. If you try to make it make sense according to comic book lore and the movies you've seen prior, you're gonna not like it. So you're gonna have to.
Well, enlighten. I mean,
I will.
get on your soapbox here, Jason.
I'm about to.
And look, I'll even link
And correct me. See, that's reason I had to rewatch it in the beginning of it because I might have missed something. So you're gonna correct me. Okay. So after Deadpool 2 came out in 2018, he stopped doing whatever and he tried to get a job with the Avengers.
Yes.
Now, which Deadpool was this? Was this Deadpool from? I'm assuming it's Deadpool from the Earth 10,000 and not their Deadpool from 616. I'm assuming there's no Deadpool in 616. They don't explain that because his time thing.
Well, yeah. Because 616 is Marvel,
right?
And then the whatever one was Fox.
10,000. We'll just say what. Okay, yes. So that's where Deadpool exists. That's where Wolverine exists and X-Men exists. They don't exist on 616. Otherwise, they'd be. That explains why they're not together in different movies.
Correct.
Beautiful explanation.
Glad we just figured that out.
If he's in 10,000,
yes.
How did he get to 616? That little thing he has was a time mover. He moved through time. He couldn't move from dimension to dimension, from universe to universe. That wasn't possible.
Well, he's got the he doesn't have the time thing.
Right.
He has the TVA phone.
No, before he got that.
Digipad.
When he went to go see Happy Hogan. Because he went to Happy Hogan and 6 years later is when the TVA grabbed him. Right after the events of Deadpool 2, he goes to see Happy Hogan. So it was confusing because they weren't explaining that part.
I am perturbed that you brought that up because I can't think it away. Like, yeah. I can't. I'm trying to find the way to patch through your logic, and I can't.
Well, I need to watch the first 30 minutes again to see the stuff I'm missing because I'm thinking I'm missing something because they don't really explain. They show him talking to Happy Hogan, but he would be talking to Happy Hogan in the Avengers world 616, unless there's an Avengers on 10,000. But that doesn't make any sense because of what happens later on, 6 years later on, when he's stapling shit to his forehead to work at the car dealership. That doesn't.
No, you're right. It doesn't. Okay.
So there's two separate planets. So they grab him, ATV grab him, and they say, well, we're going to move you to 616, the important universe, because your universe is going to be collapsed on itself in a couple of thousands of years. And I'm just going to cut it off now. And we need to do that because a anchor being, that's a person so important to that universe. If they die, the universe destroys itself, right?
Right.
So it turns out to be Logan. What?
If it has to always be a Wolverine.
Well, here's the question: Wolverines aren't never not born. They were born. He was born, and he can die. So who was the anchor being on 10,000 or whatever before he was born, or was there not one? Who?
Jesus.
Okay, but between Jesus and Wolverine, there's 2,000 years. So who's the anchor baby? Is there always an anchor baby, or is it doomed to failure? Because he's going to die sooner or later at some point anyhow. So
maybe
a new one's born.
Well, maybe it takes the Wolverine a very long time to age.
It does.
So maybe the Wolverine was born around 2000.
Okay, what about the 10,000 years before that?
Okay, the 10,000 before that, he was born.
No,
it's comic book, man.
I'm just saying the Wolverine does not live that. I mean, he wasn't born that. Okay,
and plus it's Jesus. He came twice.
But here's the thing: he is going to die at some point. He's not immortal. So he's gonna so they're saying the universes are gonna collapse on each other no matter what, because whoever the anchored being is, that is person is going to die at some point. So every universe in the multiverse will destroy itself at some
Well,
point.
but then maybe it gets passed off to the Deadpool.
Okay, that or
Right.
not even Deadpool or anyone. I don't think they get to decide. It's just this anchor being thing is such crap when they use. That's the problem I have in multiverse. They get too complicated. But the point is, here's my biggest issue with this movie. Logan dies, right? He dies in Logan. He's the old man, right?
Yep.
So this Deadpool movie takes place in 2024. We know this because they talk about it was 2018 when he sees Happy Hogan. 6 years later, 2024. It's all happening right now. And he says, guess what? Your man's dead. So in your universe is going to destroy itself. Logan don't die until 2030. In the movie, he dies in or 2029. He dies 5 years from now. So he's not dead yet. And if they're talking about, oh, they can see future in time, well, then they would have seen he died in 2030, 35 years ago, and they would have done it then. I'm like, so like I said, that was the first 30 minutes. I bitched, I moaned.
I wish we would have talked about this, because then I would have paid so much more attention the second time I went to the fucking theater to watch it with my son. So if I would have had, well, I'm actually very happy I had this conversation, because I have to go back a third time because I promised Amanda that I would watch it with her. So,
well, that's the thing. And I'm going to watch it again because, like I said, if you just don't get so anal about that like I was, you'll be fine. I think if you like Deadpool movies, you can be fine with this. But that bothered me through the whole movie. So just turn your brain off a little bit for the first 20 minutes and you'll enjoy the next hour and a half.
I want to, while you're mentioning something that bothered you, do you know what bothered me?
What bothered you?
When Deadpool drop kicked Wolverine's head. That would have hurt like a mother in A.
It would have.
Oh my God, that would have, like, I can understand the fact that all of his tarsals and shit are gonna freaking break, like, heal themselves, but ow!
I know. And I figured Wolverine's teeth were like titanium, whatever, too, and they came out of his head when it was flying up in the air.
Well,
I mean, why would
teeth aren't. I don't think they would have changed the teeth. I think the teeth would have just been teeth.
Okay, you're probably right, but yeah, that I thought that too. I was like, that would hurt. So, but let's go continue with the character. Now we know how what Wolverine, and then now comes my favorite part of the movie: the different Wolverines.
Oh my God, who is your favorite Wolverine?
Well, I'm sure we got the same one. It's absolutely 100% without a doubt the actual correct size Wolverine in the comic. Yes,
Little one. I do love the little one. That's so funny. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna like the little one," but yeah,
that's the size of him in the actual comics. That's he's like 5'2".
oh my God, that's awesome.
It was great.
I really loved the comic cover shots, like the eye patch Wolverine, the gambling casino one, him up on the cross. Like,
that's exactly what those were. Those were definitely iconic covers.
right, they like every single one that they picked was iconic. Like even the he's like, the first appearance, he was like, didn't you fight the Hulk in this one?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're and you're like,
yes.
My opinion on Henry Cavill has changed. Put a beard on that man.
Oh, he's a sexy motherfucker.
But he is grizzled and big old fucking cigar into that rippled back with the, oh my God, I was putty, man. Like, I was like, oh my God, I want that so bad.
Yeah, he was badass, but I think he's just too big. But anyways, Yeah, that was my favorite part of the whole movie. The whole after he gets to write Wolverine to come back with him. I love the fact that as he passes out drunk, he can't pick him up because he's so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
That was a very good attention to detail because people don't realize how heavy Wolverine is. I mean, he is completely not titanium, but
Adamantium.
and yes, that's just heavy.
Hmm?
He's like a ton. He weighs like an actual ton,
Right.
and he's carrying that shit. No wonder he's so damn strong. But they both get sent to the void. I enjoyed the void.
The void was wonderful. The void was magnificent. We get uh almost the island of misfit toys, if you will, in the void.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The Allen Misfit Toys.
Well, sir, someday I'd like to be a dentist. A dentist?
I do love the fact they had 20th Century Fox broken down, being buried by the sand.
Yep.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
It was perfect. The fight, the fight that everybody wanted to see. I know I wanted to see it.
I did too.
The Wolverine versus Sabretooth, that kind of got cut a little short, unfortunately, but it was still, I mean,
Wolverine,
still pretty
Sabretooth,
great.
Wolverine, Deadpool.
What's that?
You said Sabretooth.
I did say Sabretooth.
Meant to?
I did.
You think it cut short? There was no fight. It was like one move.
Yeah, the fight got cut short.
No, that means a fight took place. Fight took place. I thought you meant Deadpool Wolverine fight.
This movie definitely did not shy away from choreographed fighting,
Mm.
nor did it fall away from any choreographed dancing. I know I'm gonna jump back.
Reynolds, by the way.
It was not. That was a spoiler. That was the internet, and I kind of wish it really was. But
Yeah.
the
Well,
music in this movie, fucking A, man. There's like two songs I didn't like,
yeah, the silent soundtrack was epic. I think they were leaving.
but it was just so 2000s.
It was. It was
And
very.
then like hit you, I mean, you get a stump for um Jerry Lewis. No, is it not Jerry Lewis in the news?
Huey Lewis in the news.
Huey Lewis in the news. Instantly, you get a stump for using Huey Lewis in the news. Like,
I agree with that.
oh,
So, and they fight each other, and of course they stop fighting each other because someone starts screaming, "Hey, they're coming!" Stop
yes,
fighting against each other, and that happens. I'm rooting it for everyone. I don't care because we got
Captain America.
I loved the song. Like, yeah, okay, another fucking. I knew there gonna be cameos left and right, which I'm fine with. I think it's a little overindulgent, but he was the way he did his and what it turned out to be perfection. I think they did too much fourth wall breaking. Way too.
I think they did some fifth wall breaking.
Her. Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
They did way too much. They did
Because he refers to him as Hugh.
yes.
That's a fifth wall break. And then I think he references his something else. I wanted to say it was Blake, but it's not his wife.
He invented Hugh's divorce.
He definitely did, which was funny. Now, this is what I'm about to do is this movie to me was 30 minutes too long. And I'm going to flash forward the 30 minutes because yeah, you don't like no, we'll speed through up to my next favorite cameo, the best cameo. Motherfucking Blade, Wesley Snipes. I didn't know that dude was out of prison. Like,
Yeah, I thought that was good that we did, and we're skipping past real fast. I'm not gonna go back to that, but the main villain of the movie, we're skipping past her. She's Xavier's sister.
yep.
So badass.
hot.
Loved her. Thought she was great. But yes, they get away and they go and they run into Blade plus a few other folks. Well, here's the thing, and I don't know if anybody understands the triple entendre on that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Because Wade Wilson who is Deadpool, was a still 6 or whatever, right? But Wade Wilson is part of Blade 3 when he fights Dracula. That's Wade Wilson before he becomes Deadpool.
So I don't know if I want to disclose this or not. I've never seen a Blade movie.
Oh, well, in Blade 3, Ryan Reynolds is in the movie Blade 3, and he's got these swords, whatever. He's Wade Wilson. He's the merc with the mouth before he becomes Deadpool.
Right. Okay. And that makes more sense about when freaking Blade was like, God, I didn't want to ever have to see you again.
Because I don't like you. You never liked me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, wait, how do they know each other?
So if you saw Blade 3, you'd have known that's because he didn't like him on Blade 3 either. He did not like him at all.
Nobody likes him.
No, nobody does. He's a smart ass motherfucker.
But
Surprisingly,
yet everybody likes him. Nobody likes him, but everybody loves him. I honestly think was it Nice Pool? All in Nice Pool, you can got rid of Nice Pool completely. He is Indiana Jones in Raiders. Doesn't need to be there.
yeah.
Movie still moves along just fine. You can still bring in Dog Pool.
I don't care what anyone says. That's the ugliest. That's the ugliest dog in the world. That's his claim to fame. And it's an ugly dog. Would not want that dog looking at me.
It is so ugly. It is beautiful.
It's so ugly.
I want kisses from that dog.
Nope. I would.
I want to rub lotion that is approved for the oils on that dog's skin all over it while I pet it.
I would punt it across the yard and smile when I did it. That dog. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I love all dogs, but I did. But there was a point, and just so you all know, that all these different Deadpools, which I'm not sure why they would be on the bad person's side who wants to destroy all the different universes, but they just want to have a big fight of invincible characters versus invincible characters where no one's dying.
Yeah, though the Deadpool Corps, is that what they're called?
Yeah, I don't understand why they were all, why they were, like I said, why they were helping the bad person.
Because they're mercenaries. They can be paid.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of questions. You can answer my first 2. You answered my third. Yeah, was it nice? Nice Pool was another one that was not invincible or not.
Yes.
Okay. See that they pushed that little gag off a little too long. While you're gonna live, I'm gonna live. That was
right. Like the only reason why there was Nice Pool is so he could get those gold Desert Eagle pistols. That's it. That's the only reason.
And this is them getting back from the void and going back to VTC.
Right.
Or whatever it's called. And they get there and they have to stop the bad guy from being the bad guy. Because the bad guy trying to get this MacGuffin. What the MacGuffin is that? That was kind of funny. If you don't know what a MacGuffin is, don't worry. The more you know. And the bad lady, Xavier's wife or sister, gets up there and is going to use it to destroy all the universes and only keep the void.
Yep.
They had to stop it. I didn't understand how they stopped it. I don't understand why them touching hands instead of just, why that would matter if antimatter and matter connect together, destroy something. Why those two?
Is it possible there could be a 2 and now you knows?
Mm-hmm. Why? What are you gonna tell me?
Nothing. I just want to stare at the screen.
Okay. That's pretty good. I think it's frozen like that. Yeah.
So I think we have waxed so much about this movie that we must get into what the other people in the world thought about this movie. Let's jump into the 5 and 1 star reviews. The first 5-star review comes from Edgardo M. Deadpool and Wolverine is a love letter to old Marvel movies before the MCU. I've read reviews from some movie critics that says it doesn't have substance and it's repetitive. To those critics, this is not Oppenheimer. Deadpool and Wolverine is a gory, dark humor action comic book movie. It's meant to just be enjoyed. No hidden life lesson, nothing to learn except I think I want to build a snowman now.
Good reference about the movie about cocaine, because that's building a snowman. That's okay. So you know what? Thank you, reviewer Eduardo, whatever your name was, sir. I'm messing it up. I'm past it now, but I'm glad I read that. I'm glad Nate read that to me because it makes me appreciate the movie more. Now it really does. It really does. Michael, 1 star less. Less of a movie and more of a comedy skit. It was just a series of cameos and comic aside. They leaned so heavily into the breaking the fourth wall that there was no sense of a story in the movie. I was very disappointed. They did it way too much, I think. I agree with that.
I do as well. Again, yeah, I think all the cameos worked. You could still shave a half an hour from this movie. This movie did not have to be 2 hours and 7 minutes.
But even Ron Reynolds or Deadpool is telling you wrong. They even said, go ahead, take your time. Audiences are used to long run hours. He said that in the bar. Another fourth wall break that was not necessary, but see, that counteracts your argument.
But no, it's a fucking cock in the face argument. This is fucking him whipping it out and smack it in my face, going, hey, motherfucker, look, you're already here. You were going to come no matter how long or short this movie is. So we just said, and now you're here. Fucking. The next 5-star review comes from an unknown. It is an amazing movie with a banger opening that brings back some characters and adds a spice of MCU multiverse saga. With lines questionable as to how some lines made into the movie, but regardless, it is an action-packed comedic movie and a must-watch.
Matt A. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Disney for ruining another iconic franchise. Poorly done and an obvious money grab, the story is extremely weak. Disney Marvel have decided that they don't really need plots anymore. Yes, I agree with this. They'll just use the multiverse. The multiverse is worn out. Ryan Reynolds' performance seems forced and lacks the spark of previous 2 movies. Feels like they just had to throw something together to get Wolverine on screen. I wish I didn't see it, and I wouldn't bother if I were you. I might have wrote that. Okay. Last 1-star review, because we just went down a rabbit hole that you're not going to know. Is David R. The alleged plot was poorly composed and produced. Character development and interaction was tolerant at best. The film was just one joke after the next. Long list of one-liners. I walked out halfway through the movie. What a disappointment. If you walked out halfway through the movie, can you really criticize the movie?
No. You have no right. This is was the furthest review. I didn't want to go too far back because, well, it took forever. It comes from Deirdre S, which was a 3-star on July 29th, and it was a verified review. Advertisement for the movie hyped it up a lot. Kid thought it was good. I thought it was okay. All right, why don't we go ahead and get into what the critics and the audience scored this movie. slightly surprising to me, this got rated as a 78% by the critics, while the audience, going ahead, and this one also surprised me just a tad, gave this a 96%.
I'm not surprised the audience have it at 9. I mean, I'm more surprised of the critics, but I figured 90 for audience and like 60 maybe for critics. I don't know. I don't know who the critics are anymore. They were raised.
They're, I mean, again, technically we're critics. We're not Rotten Tomatoes critics, but
Good point.
we still criticize the movies.
You do criticize.
Now, Jason,
Yes, sir.
let's go ahead and rate and recommend this movie. It should go without saying, I will absolutely recommend this movie all day. To anybody that has 2 hours and 7 minutes to watch this freaking movie, that really only needs to be an hour and 96 at tops. This movie was tremendous fan service. I loved it. I will be going back to see it a third time. I was originally going to give this movie a 4 tree and a stump. However, after watching it a dose time, I am not going to rate it that high. I actually feel, and actually with this conversation, I feel like it may be best suited at a 3 tree and a stump.
That is fair and honest. I'd recommend it to my surgeon. Sure, why not? It's 2 hours. I was not a fan of the continuous fourth wall break. Did not like it happening. It should happen few and frequently where it actually matters, where you're not inundated or whatever word that means, whatever it is, all the time, where it loses its benefit, an hour into it. The cameos were fine. The storyline was weak. The acting was fine. The soundtrack was beautiful. It's not really. I miss Cable. I would love to have seen Cable. He was in the second one.
He didn't test
I
well.
want to see more of Colossus and stuff, but that's not the story. They pulled him out of his world and did stuff with him. It's just trying to get all these stories together. I guess you got to do it. It's gonna hurt when you try to do it. But soundtrack, as you said earlier, is worth at least half a stump. And I'm glad I had a day to marinate on this, because, like you, I was gonna give it a tree. But after watching it again and not being so anal about the beginning and just enjoying the movie and talking to you, I'm going to definitely move that up. Plus the half stump. So I'm going to give it. I can't give it 3. I just can't do it, because to me it's 2.5 trees. 2 trees, 1 stump.
There you have it, folks. Only a tree separates Jason and I from tying this week. Though, don't let our ranking spoil or what we commented about this movie, because we may have spoiled some things, but we didn't spoil everything. Go ahead, and if you saw this movie, drop a comment. Let us know what you think. What is your review of this movie? Is it a stump? Is it a 5-tree forest? Go ahead and like, subscribe, please. Tell your friends. I've been Nate. That's been Jason. Till next time, we'll see you here on Trees in Space. What?